Hello everybody, good morning, Chris Wood here, September 23rd, 2022. William Bill Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North. You are guilty of attempted murder. You are guilty of injuring. You are guilty of identity theft. You are guilty of being a sex offender. You are guilty of being a pedophile. You are guilty of being an O.P.P boss to O.P.P Police Spencer Mills, to ex-chief, to staff sergeants, to Shannon Cork, to Robert Kane, to Robert Lucas, to Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee, now Kingston. She is there doing the human trafficking in Kingston out of the hub, getting the homeless people and trafficking them there. Then there's Shelley Huffner. There's Dr. Tatiana V, a.k.a. Margie V, at Napanee or Lennox and Addinngton County General Hospital. Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Triage Nurse Terry, Triage Nurse Tanya, Triage Nurse David, and Paladin Security Guard. Their boss, their co-offender, sex offender, my identity thief. They put his prisoner tracking on me. I have 24/7 remote neuromonitoring. Alleged Hells Angels Ontario chapter leader. A dangerous offender, a sex offender, human sex trade slavery trafficker, children to adults, or children to pedophiles, adults to sex offenders, through Lennox and Addinngton O.P.P ex-chief. So, I'm the victim of complete deforming. I'm the victim of brain injury, skull splitting, skull deforming. I'm the victim of identity theft. I am the victim of kidnapping. I am the victim of sex assault. I am the victim of medical blacklisting. I am the victim of medical discrimination. I am the victim of revenge retaliation, framing attempted murder through O.P.P for revenge retaliation for speaking of their crimes. Back in 2019, I was at my previous address and I was sitting there. Ex-O.P.P chief went by. He waved. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. They pointed something, they shot it, and it went into my right ear. That's when all the problems started. That's when I'd start getting burning, numbing, and everything else. My skull has been deformed to about 50 different sizes and shapes from me being broadcasted through by 50 different fucking junkies who live around here who are using the remote neuromonitoring on me, compliments of O.P.P. And this is an attempt to mentally fuck me up. This is for my identity theft change. There's been lies, time buying, cover-ups, arrest refusals except for on me to deflect their crimes, to give me a record so they could get what they needed, my prints, my signature, and everything else for this. This has been going on with me for 3 years, for over 3 years, since July, August of 2019. So, O.P.P, you got your identity theft. Lennox and Addinngton County General Hospital. You aided in this. You're guilty of criminal negligent intent to commit. William Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, who are untouchables, are guilty of stalking my mother as well, using R&M on her and killing her through it from the EMFs and radiation, which caused tumors and cancer. It was done with intent to get away with this. I am being broadcasted through in hopes to be mentally screwed up, in hopes that I am taken off my own true consciousness, in hopes that I am not talking about this or showing what has taken place so everybody can get away with this. O.P.P and the ones named, they are guilty of human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking. Like I said, children to pedophiles, adults to sex offenders, families are murdered and missing. It is O.P.P. CSIS, Canadian Spy Agency, is guilty of human trafficking. RCMP has been guilty of human trafficking. O.P.P is guilty of human trafficking. Poor, homeless, murdering elderly, disability pension thefts and frauds, elderly pension thefts and frauds, insurance thefts and frauds, having your victims murdered and taking out insurance policies and then collecting on them, using remote neuromonitoring on people to mentally fuck them up for your benefit, to lobotomize them, buying time so you can get out of the crimes that you are committing, having the doctors here to aid you, having a justice of the peace to make accusations for you against your victims, to obstruct, saying that being sodomized and ripped open is hallucination from smoking marijuana. Yeah, okay. And then while I'm in the room there, she smelled like alcohol and her eyes were pretty glossy, like she just got finished railing a big line of cocaine. And there's a bald guy that works at the courthouse. He was even in the room standing behind me, and I had to tell him to leave. That I was in fear of my life. I was there to make a report on the police, and he is standing behind me in a closed room with a justice of the peace? I don't think so. I was in fear of my life that day, and I told him to get the fuck away from me. He's a fat guy, he's bald, and he works at the courthouse that day, so I just want to say you got your identity theft, you're getting your mental fuck up, you're lucky you're untouchable, you're lucky you're unarrestable. William Bill Wooldridge of 149 Center Street, you delusional piece of shit. Blair Hardy, you delusional piece of shit garbage. This is how you fucking this is how you murder people. This is how you get out of criminal civil lawsuits. This is how you're human trafficking. You're using R&M, you're destroying people's nervous systems on them. You're splitting people's skulls. You're completely getting them medically blacklisted to assure your crimes that you are committing, O.P.P. Spencer Mills. You are nothing but a fucking terrorist piece of shit garbage. You're using inmates. You are nothing but drug addicts. You deliver drugs to William Wooldridge, to Blair Hardy, who is allegedly in jail. But if so, he's the boss to these cops. So if he's there, it is bullshit, false charge. Trust me, they lay false charges to get out of crimes themselves, just to deflect their crimes. So if anybody's had any run-ins with O.P.P, I would definitely fight it because they are seriously corrupt. And it was probably done to turn you into a human trafficking victim or to eventually murder you. Or they needed it for money. How they make their money here is through drug trafficking, through human trafficking, and through the financial thefts and frauds and insurance thefts and frauds. This is how O.P.P make their money with their boys William Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jabin Alstein, Blair Hardy, Ray, a guy that lives on East Street with a white deaf pit bull, his roommate Sam, and they all work with and for Spencer Mills, Robert Keane, and O.P.P. They're groomers, they're human traffickers. They get paid $300 a day, they get freedom, they get protection, and they get all the drugs that they want. their drugs of choice, whether it be heroin, opium, crack, fentanyl, meth, or whatever. Any of that junk and garbage, they get it for free for doing this crime on me. And like I said, this is in hopes to mentally fuck me up. This is why O.P.P is buying time. You are not only guilty of having my mother murdered, you are guilty of doing this to me, and you are guilty of murdering an entire bloodline for revenge retaliation, O.P.P. Remember this. You are nothing but serial killing pieces of shit fucking garbage. You're using tech that a lot of people do not know, especially here in Napanee, so that benefits you very, very well. I bet you've murdered many people here by using this on victims, and I bet Lennox and Addinngton Hospital has covered up many of your victims. I bet you have trafficked many, many people through your false lies, your false arrest, and everything else to get away with this, to make it look legal, to be above suspicion. And you count on that, don't you, O.P.P. and the doctors here? So, you're lucky you're untouchable. You're lucky that I have not been able to get any lawyers. You're lucky as soon as I mention the name Spencer Mills around here, first words out of their mouth is, no, we're not touching it, because they know how dangerous O.P.P is, and fear of their own lives most likely, or their families or children, knowing that they would be murdered or sold. And this is no fucking joke. This is not hate against cops in any way, shape, or form, so I do not want anybody to think that. Anyway, I better wrap this up. If you like this content, hit the like, share, subscribe button. Especially share. This is very serious and important. Remember, I spoke of police crimes. I became a victim. My identity theft and changes, which I have proven is how O.P.P murder, how they human traffic, and how they successfully get away with it here in Napanee. Love all, hate none. Be safe, watch yourself and your children.